cutting off the volume. And, this week is going to be slower as well. Like the whole week, you don't have many things coming out. We have a couple things that we're going to be focusing on this week. But when it comes to the actual charts and everything, it's very low volume. And this is something that you want to kind of lower your risk. A lot of people really aren't trading right now, right? So we're just kind of putting in a little bit more work, making sure that we're getting all our stuff in, sticking to our schedule. We had our time off. Now we have our time off date. We're gonna relax those 2 weeks, and not that we're gonna be relaxing because a lot of you guys have to work and stuff like that. We're just not gonna be waking up for the live session and trading in the live market. But other than that, we'll be back testing some of these days. We're gonna be waking up to back test. Just kind of going through previous trades from the year, making sure that we're completely on top and 100% confident coming into January 10th of our first live stream. So looking over here at our economic calendar, so far CBI industrial orders expectations came out today, came out better than expected, right? Anything above zero, I believe, is pretty good. So what they do with this one? Obviously, I'll point some of this stuff out. So it's a survey of 550 manufacturers, which asks respondents to rate the level of order volume. So how many things are going to be coming into your industry when you guys are ordering things, right? As a business, you have customers that are ordering things from you. So how many things do you need to order in advance for your business to succeed and not have any kind of supply chain issues or be running out of anything, stuff like that. So a lot of these are very interesting to look out. I think I pointed out to many of you guys, if you just went into some of these calendars and you just wrote down in like a database or something like that of what these things are, studied them, back tested them, took some notes on like what happens after them. You can obviously put them into your journal as well, but just learning about some of these things, even the yellow folder events, some of them are leading indicators, right? Even though it's not a red folder or an orange folder, it doesn't mean it's not important. Like a lot of these, if you read through them, it's like, wow, like why isn't that an orange folder? Why isn't that a red folder? Like the CB leading index over here, yellow folder event for the US dollar, right? So this would probably seem like a leading indicator over here. Combined reading of 10 economic indicators related to employment, new orders, consumer confidence, housing, stock market prices, credit trends, and interest rate spreads. So this is something that like it seems like it would be the change in the level of composite index of 10 economic indicators. So it takes all these different indicators, puts them into one, and gives it that percentage growth. So right now they're expecting the same exact thing as we had last month. And then moving into tomorrow, public sector net borrowing. How many people are borrowing right now to buy things or to buy things to start a business, whatever it is? But most of the time it is borrowing to be in bad debt. That's how we know, most of humans work. CBI realized sales. Like these are things that are pretty important when it comes to the economy. Some of these numbers that you guys could be paying attention to. I realize it can be boring at times, but the more you get into it, the more you know, the more you're going to make. That's just how it works. So tomorrow, again, we have current account coming out for the U.S. I don't think any of you guys trade any CAD pairs. Monetary policy meeting minutes later tomorrow night for the Japanese yen. And then moving into Wednesday, which is going to be our last day streaming, we have current account, GDP, revised business investment, quarter to quarter for the Great Britain pound. So maybe we get some volume during London. Neither of you guys trade London, so that's cool. But moving into 8:30 for our session, we got final GDP quarter to quarter coming out. Consumer confidence at 10 a.m. We won't be on the stream at that point, but consumer confidence, existing home sales, Kuroda speaking tomorrow night probably. It does say tentative, but it's probably going to be tomorrow night. And then moving into Thursday and Friday. Thursday, we're going to be communicating in the in Slack. Just talking about what's going on when it comes to core PCE price index. This is what the Fed is looking at. Right, this is a big economic indicator. Unemployment claims as well. A lot of these are going to be moving the Fed in one certain direction. All of a sudden, if you listen to Powell now, his sentiment has like almost completely changed. He's very hawkish right now. He's trying to balance the two right now between, for some reason the Fed has become very political, right? The different administrations want them focusing on different things. Like right now, diversity, equity, stuff like that. With the current administration, they're trying to push the Fed in one direction because of their core beliefs about the economy and how it's not equal for some people. So they're trying to get them involved, and that's a sticky spot for the Fed to be involved in. They're not an elected official. They're not even part of the federal government. That Federal Reserve title is kind of an illusion because the Federal Reserve is completely independent, right? They're like a private entity that lends money to the U.S. They own the U.S. basically. So they're in a sticky spot right now between inflation and the current economy, and it's a stagflation that we're going through right now, where there's not that much growth and there's a lot of high prices. So that's stagflation. So when you have something like that, you got to be careful of the way you dictate your monetary policy. But as we know from, I would say, May or June of this past year, what was all the Fed members saying that inflation was going to be? Do you guys remember? Like they all,
no idea.
Yeah, so they all kept trying to calm everybody down, saying that inflation is transitory. Now, transitory means it's temporary, right? Obviously, it's transitory. How transitory is it, though? That's the question. So they're trying to calm everybody down because this is a problem that they've created, where they printed all that money, and now they're kind of screwed a little bit because they increased the inflation in the economy, and now if they increase interest rates, that's going to crash the market. So they're stuck in it's like a rock and a hard place, something like that. So they're in a difficult spot right now. So a lot of these indicators are going to be telling us what they're going to be doing when it comes to their economic policy. So we're going to be paying attention to this on Thursday, even though we're not going to be trading. It's the day before Christmas Eve, so we're going to kind of stay clear of that. We're just going to be watching the market and seeing what exactly they're saying, what exactly these numbers are coming out. Core PCE, obviously we're going over some of these calendars over here. You guys know what core PCE is. This is huge when it comes to inflation and what the Fed looks at. This is one of the main indicators over here, along with CPI, PPI, and then PCE is a main one as well. So obviously heading into Friday, Christmas Eve, a lot of bank holidays over here. So we're not going to be trading then. That's going to be Thursday is going to be the start of our break right up until January 10th, which is that first Monday. So January 9th, we'll be doing a lot of things as well, preparing ourselves. And then not to mention all throughout the week, all throughout the 2 weeks, we're going to be back testing a ton, getting ourselves ready for the new year. Tiffany, how you doing? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, good to hear. I'm doing great. Just going over the market over here. We just broke down the economic calendar. So let's look into the charts over here and see what's kind of going on. Go over to the weekly. So let's go to the monthly over here. So the monthly, obviously tapping into 149 over here. We got that strong bearish candle right over here from November, right? November ended up tapping into 156 at the beginning of November. Then we realized what? What did we realize? That they weren't going to be increasing interest rates, right? This is all economic sentiment. This is all consumer sentiment, basically what we thought was going to be happening. And it skyrocketed up to 156, tapping into that, or 156 and then 158, tapping into that key level over here of that multi-year downtrend. The next month, they didn't increase rates, and we ended up correcting the entire move up, right? So now the current monthly candle already created a top wick, obviously from last week and what happened where they actually did increase rates. But right now, Great Britain's in a bad spot. Great Britain, when it comes to their economy, they're about to go into lockdown. I think I saw a title over here on Forex Factory. UK debates Christmas lockdown amid Omicron-driven COVID surge. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I haven't seen so many people getting COVID since the beginning of COVID. This thing is it's a lot calmer, right? They're saying in South Africa that their hospital rates have plunged since this thing came out. So a lot of people are getting it, but it's a lot less serious, right? A lot less symptoms, and it's kind of more like a cold, like a flu, which is great news. And I hope this is where we stop. But who knows at this point? It's getting crazy. But anyway, increasing interest rates is not going to completely strengthen the economy. It's the same thing with the US. Like I said, when we increase rates, what's going to happen to the stock market? What's going to happen to business? What's going to happen to GDP? It's going to cost all these businesses more to operate, right? It strengthens the dollar. It strengthens the currency of that currency with the pound. But at the same time, their economy is not strong enough typically to increase rates. Really, they're just trying to curb some inflation and some of that monetary policy. So we ended up coming up here, grabbing liquidity and flipping bearish and tapping into this area down here. So looking at the weekly over here, the weekly ended up tapping off 149. Like we said, we increased rates, pushing us all the way up to 152,650, and then rejecting this bearish trend over here, closing a weaker bullish candle with a long top wick. This current weekly candle created a top wick and passed the low of that candle. So when we see that on some of our lower time frames, like the 30-minute for scalping, you know that there's a good chance that we're going to come right back down to 149. But we'll see, right? We're not going to be guessing or trading anything that we think. We're just going to see what we see, have a plan, and we're going to play it accordingly. Looking at the daily over here, we had a significant support here, 149,500. We ended up holding support, right? Pushing all the way up here, retracing, closing below the bearish, resistance over here of the channel, closing a strong bearish candle. This candle, well, actually, this bearish candle closed a no bottom wick, right? So when we close a no bottom wick over there, there's a 50% chance that we're going to just kind of drop, or we're going to completely correct the whole move, or just have like a deep retracement and then continue right back down from there. So we ended up dropping, coming right back down to 500, holding this support so far to possibly range in here, tapping onto this trend line over here one more time, and then continuing down, because as you guys know, this is a strong level right here. So could we retest that area and continue right back down if we get more negative stuff, if they do go into a lockdown, if there are negative news or economic data coming out of Great Britain? We got to see. We got to see what their GDP is. One thing I did want to point out, again, with that economic calendar is, where was it? A good indicator for you. Again, some of these yellow folder events are legit, right? They're important. I think it was this. Yeah, so order volume over here, I was looking at previous. So CBI industrial order expectation. So this is where they interview 550 manufacturers, which give us an indication of how much volume is coming across and how much volume these businesses need to supply the consumers that are having high demand for their product. Now, as you guys remember, we had that supply chain issue a while back, a couple months ago. It was pretty serious, but it went all over the world. So looking at October over here, that volume was so low, right? And then the volume absolutely skyrocketed over here. I'm not too sure why that happened in Great Britain, but we got to see what's the new CBI industrial order expectations was pretty positive. So that's why I think maybe we're holding support over here. We held support over here to continue right back up, but we got to see. Looking at the 4 hour right now, 500 seems to be a significant support, right? Price ended up pushing all the way down into here, closed perfectly at that area last week, or during London over here. The current daily candle is very strong. How many times have we pushed up from this level every time we reached it? We've had a nice little rally every time we've come into this area. So could we be coming right back up to 150,500, right? Coming back into this level over here, previous support over here, to then continue down, or maybe we break, continue into this area and continue down, or we break above and continue right back up. This is a very significant level, 149. So it's going to take a lot for us to break below it. Let me just fix this. Perfect. So 149, very strong level. Are we going to retest that level? That's a good question. So looking over at the 1 hour. All right, so we're in a interesting spot right now. This is a previous support. That's the wrong tool. This is a previous support right here that we're now tapping into, right? We could very well come up to 150, 500 or 400 up here. But right now we're at a significant previous support where we rejected multiple times over here. Multiple times. It was hard for us to break below. Finally broke below, came right back down at 149.600, and then retraced all the way back up to that level. So could we form a resistance right over here, get a strong bearish candle closing, the next one creates a top wick and continues right back down, right? So all during London, we've been bearish. Now we're retracing during pre-New York. During New York, can we get a continuation of that London move? Let's look over here as well. Since increasing rates, price has been making lower lows, lower highs all the way into here. Now we're starting to break that bearish trend. Now the trend could always be over here, and that's what you got to pay attention to. That could be something that could hurt you a lot. It's just drawing the wrong trend lines. If you trade specifically based on trend lines, that's a good thing for us because we don't. We trade mainly based on supply and demand, support and resistance. Those are our main confluences. We just draw the trend lines because they make sense sometimes. So looking at this, so far, it looks like this is the current trend. We are bearish. Looks like we're kind of breaking. Can we hold a support somewhere in here to then continue right back up? We just created our high so far of the session. Could we be creating a support right over here to continue right back up? Let's see if we get that. Or if we get a strong resistance, we could take this right back down. And then the real trend line is somewhere around here. But so far, we're just going to keep an eye on this and see what's happening. Looking at the 30-minute, again, that strong area right over here that we've rejected multiple times. I think maybe we get a support formed around 150. If we hold 150 and we stay above 150, I think we'll continue right back up to 150, 400. We'll get 40 pips over here. But we also have this trend, not trend, but EMA over here, the 50 EMA that we could be meeting up with, holding a resistance to then continue right back down and kind of start to drive down after tapping into that. This candle's starting to flip a little bit. I think this is our setup right here. Up, wrong tool. This setup we look for a lot, right? So the only thing was we were towards the end of the hour and we were just breaking down the charts anyway. But when you get some bullish movement, you get a weak bearish candle, you have a wick to fill right over here. This candle creates its bottom wick, past the high of that candle. Most of the time on the higher time frames, this is a significant, this will be a nice little push right back into this area. So let's see, is this a journal that we could trade or journal? Is this a trade that we could journal? 15 pips right here, possibly. This impulse entry, what it would have looked like was something like this. That you could also put your stop loss a little bit closer if you're more confident with this move, especially if you end up entering after that wick right over there, anticipating price to continue right back up. But this is somewhere I would be securing at least a little bit, like maybe 25, 30%, taking that off, maybe not moving my stop loss to break even and giving it some room to breathe. But if it came back to my entry, that's where I would have closed 50. By the way, Tiff, were you able to figure out Trello? Because I could break it all down right now. Tiffany, you with us? All right, we'll wait for her.
I'm here. I'm just listening today. I'm not as interactive.
That's
I
fine.
have to get my daughter ready for school. Sorry.
No, I got you. I was just trying to see if you figured out Trello because I could break that down for you right now.
No, I didn't.
Okay, cool. So do you have enough attention to be able to pay attention real quick, or should I do it just another time?
if you can do it another time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sorry.
Do what you got to do.
Thank
Nah,
you.
you're good. I don't have kids. There's nothing I could say. Can only imagine. So right now we're kind of stuck in this area. Let's see what we end up doing. Looks like this 15-minute candle is already created a bottom wick and passing the high of that candle. But this is an area of interest right here. We closed above 150. I like that. But yeah, I don't want to be buying at the high over here. I want more of a plus. We're trying to call bottoms over here. So I want to see multiple things happen. I want to see the current like neckline. A lot of people will call it, right? When you're trying to call bottoms or tops, you want that area to break, close above, and then retest that area before you take this thing out. Right. So don't get antsy about this. It's only pre-New York. We're gonna have plenty of volume. So just be patient and wait for something like that. I think this would have been our trade over here based on this support holding and a complete correction of this bearish candle. We got the bullish candle closing. This candle also closing bullish. Once we pass the high of that candle, take this thing out. But this is something that you should all be journaling. This is a great move for you to be studying and see how you can catch this next year, early next year, multiple times. Make sense? So let's see if we get more of a discount to take price right back up. Let's see, check. Yes, perfect. So looking over here at gold. I'm sorry, Kat, do you want to say something?
Oh no, I was just responding to it.
Oh, perfect. All right, looking at gold over here.
So moments like that, when we already missed the move, you would just move on to the next pair.
Not to the next thing. I would just like be patient. I would be more patient and just wait for like a retest over here, getting in at a better price because I know that we're going to get some kind of reaction to this level. Like this is a strong level on the 30-minute. Let's look to the left and see what price is done in that area previously. We've got some hard rejections over here on the 30-minute. This isn't the 15 or the 5. This is the 30. So this is our lowest strong confirmation, the 30-minute. So we ended up rejecting here multiple times over here as well. So let's see if we get some kind of reaction. If price closes above, great. But we're just going to wait for a support to form somewhere so that we can take price up. Because again, you are trading against the trend over here.
Right.
But yeah, you're just gonna stay safe and kind of wait, sit back and wait. Let's see. Again, we use those lower time frames to see how price is reacting in these certain areas. So the 5-minute is struggling a little bit over here, but we did get a nice 5-minute close above that area. So let's see if it holds. That's what you use these lower time frames for. What's up, Gio?
What's up, man?
Good
Morning.
morning. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. How's it going?
Yeah. I was actually in when you texted me yesterday, I was in Baltimore. So I wasn't the last message you sent, I was on my way back up to Jersey.
Yeah, I saw your message in Slack. I knew you were driving the time.
Oh yeah, you're good. Charged well on GJ and set up. Yeah, last week all we had right was the interest rate move right over here. But besides that, looking at the 30-minute, very messy price action. This was our interest rate move. Could have gotten the correction of it right over here, and some of these moves over here. But again, don't get too much FOMO. We're still kind of like we were kind of sitting in this range over here before we ended up making that move, and that was really the only move of the week. I mean, we had some good trades. I believe we had this move on Monday of last week. We took this, and then some of us got some of these moves over here as well. So no FOMO, obviously, and you know you'll be good after the break. So like I said, I think I was telling you this. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a ton of back testing during this week. I know you're going through a lot between moving offices. Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff, man. What made you guys do that?
Well, right now our office is tied to our warehouse, and also where our franchisee do their training.
Okay.
And so, yeah, they decided to some departments to a new building.
Wow. Good stuff, man. So
Yeah,
obviously
like,
that's stressful going, are you running the whole thing?
oh, no, really? I mean, our department, yes. So it's like 30 minutes away from our current office.
Wait, Gio, you keep breaking up for some reason. It's like, is that doing it for you guys too? Kat, Carlos?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe you're in a
Let
bad
me,
area or
actually,
something.
let me reconnect.
I couldn't hear him.
Me neither. I think he said he was going to reconnect his mic. or
Reconnecting?
something.
Cool. So it looks like we're rejecting this area over here, kind of making higher lows. I kind of want to wait for, as we see this 1 minute, as we're tapping off this area, I kind of want to see this high be created. If we fail to break above this 1 minute resistance right here, we are closing above 150, 100, but I want to see kind of like something where price comes right back down into this level, starts rejecting this area, as we know we may, coming into here, and then continuing right back up. And then that's where we get that support in the higher time frames. Somewhere over here, because we are kind of overextended over here. Coming into this area, we could be rejecting this whole resistance right here. And I want to see a deeper pullback to get a support on like the 15 minute, the 30 minute to drive price right back up. Again, we're trying to call bottoms here. We're in a very bearish trend, and the fundamentals coming out of Great Britain are not good. Right? Obviously, we got some of those good numbers with that yellow folder event today, but at the same time, they're about to go into lockdown. Like they're seeing cases double on a daily basis almost. So, we know that this variant is nowhere near as serious as Delta, which is a good thing. But nonetheless, a lot of people are getting COVID. A lot of people are fearful that they're spreading it everywhere. Again, like I said before, I don't know if you've noticed, but I keep seeing everyone getting it now. It's crazy. It's like it was in the beginning. So that's something that you got to pay attention to. As you guys see, we're rejecting 150 right now. All right. Let's see if we retest 150 and hold that as a support, and we stay above 150. If we hold that as a support, this is gonna be nice to take this right back up. I think we'll get some volume during New York that'll push us through these levels over here to continue up. But I want to see like the 15 minute, this 50 EMA, we hold support at 150, meeting up with a key level over here, then we continue right back up. Along with this area right here. What's up, Jaden?
What's up, bro?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. You have a good date night last night?
Yeah.
There you go.
It was good.
She seems very nice. All right.
Yeah.
So that's what was
Pretty
that?
strong demand zone we're at.
What was that?
Pretty strong demand zone we're in.
Oh, what, 149, 600?
Yeah, like on the 4 hour or the daily.
Yeah.
Just see it kind of reacts off that.
Oh yeah. That's the only reason I'm looking for buys over here. I think
Yeah.
if we get, we're bouncing off 149, 600, approaching this area over here. And the closer you get to it, the closer you're going to see that this is a strong zone right over here. So we've been bearish ever since increasing rates. We've just been printing lower lows, lower highs. And now we approach the 600 level, right? Besides 149 flat, 600 has held that support where it looked like we were coming right back down to 149 flat, but we ended up holding support here. So now we're in that area. We see what happens multiple times over here. So let's see if we get some clean price action and a nice support formed, a high created support formed somewhere in here. And then we continue right back up if we get that. If not, if we hold 150, 100 as a strong resistance, we end up closing below 150 flat, right? Then we know that there's a good chance that we could continue right back down and retest that low that we created during London and then push right through to 149 for the rest of the week. But we'll see how strong this level is in the next day or two. Yeah, they're not in a good spot right now, Great Britain. Even if they increase rates, it's just not a good spot. Not to mention, you know, markets are moving a little bit differently than we're used to, right? In the past, you know, since the end of October, you know, people start taking some time off. You start getting lower volume, price not moving the way you're used to, stuff like that. Like that's stuff that you got to pay attention to and understand that, like, you know, you're not going to, you know, even if it's like a real setup that you love, this isn't the month to like really jack up your risk for that, right? Like sometimes I definitely encourage, if this is a setup that you've seen over and over and over again, you're nowhere near risking 50% on that account. But what you're doing is risking 3, 4, 5% on that one trade using dynamic risk, but you know, risking 4 or 5% on that one trade because you've seen that break and retest over and over and over again. Not an impulse entry, but waiting for those candles to close. You see it. That's where you can start using your profits from the previous trades to be doing that. And if you don't have profits from your previous trades, then that's an issue. That's where you just stick to your regular risk management. But again, once you start getting better and better, more confident, gaining experience, you'll be able to risk a little bit more on some of these setups and be more confident. That's where the back testing comes from. Well, that's what the back testing does. So looks like we're playing around over here. Geo's back. So 7:20 over here. So we're waiting 10 minutes for the 30-minute candle to close. We just ended up this candle strong 30-minute candle with barely a top wick. This candle passed the high right away, right? Tapped into 150 and started rejecting. So can this candle close bearish for us? That way we know that if we start breaking and closing below 150, we know we could take this thing down, possibly. So let's go over to gold over here and break this down. Gold is something I'm not going to be touching, but we ended up grabbing liquidity over here, closing bullish, breaking down into the 1760 area, 1755 area, and then flipping bullish over here last week, right? Current candle, it also has a wick to fill. Let's actually get rid of some of these things. 212, we don't need that. Obviously very significant support over here, as we've been saying for a while now. 1760, 1762. It's been a strong demand zone where we've been holding support and continuing up, but we are consolidating on the higher time frames, which is not good. We finally broke above this range over here. All right, we wanted to stay out of here. Now we created a top wick. The only thing is we rejected this whole area right here. So this whole area right here, we just rejected multiple times with some of these wicks. So we got to take a look at what they look like on the lower time frame. This is only the daily. So we got to see what they look like on the lower time frames and why price keeps rejecting this price of 1800, significant level over here. All right, so that should tell you that, all right, we need a strong close above for us to continue through this range and continue right back up to 1830. But as we all know, 1830 is a strong level over here. Multiple rejections on the daily. Looking at the 4 hour, we keep rejecting this level right here. Multiple times we created this high up here, reacted to that area over there. We are above the 50 EMA, but below the 200. But are we going to hold support over here and continue right back up, or are we going to break below here and continue to range as we've been doing. Looking at the 1 hour, we're holding support again. Now we have this resistance right here. So we got that resistance right there, holding support at 1794, significant level for us right now. And so far, we're holding a support. We just passed the high of the previous bearish candle. Last time we were in this area, we've gotten a nice little push up from there. Could we get something like that to continue right back up? Let's see what we look like. I know we have a level right here, previous support. Let's see if we close above that and get like a retest of that to continue right back up to 1804, 1803. Looking at the 30-minute. So we had this. Previous support over here that we're looking to break above. So could we get a close above this area? A retest, candles closing in our direction to take price up, maybe an impulse entry to take this thing up. You have from this area to here, you get about 57 pips. So that's plenty for us. We just need that close above this area to continue up. Got about 6 minutes left. It's a nice candle right there. So let's see if we get a rejection to continue up. Not to, just be aware that you are in a range. We can play this, but you may want to just kind of watch it, especially if you guys don't really trade gold. Just kind of watch it and see what happens. All right, GJ is still holding a support over here. Continuing right back up. 5-minute close bullish. We're passing the highs up here. Starting to flip up. Let's see how this 30-minute closes. This 30-minute closes like that. Again, I want like a better price to get in because we're trying to call bottoms here. And you got to just be aware. I think, like I said, this was the trade. If you guys miss this and you're not, you're looking to get in up here, that's a big mistake on a Monday. That's happened many times to many people. Let's see. For gold, would you consider the 1810 level as a proper buy above zone? 1810. Yeah, absolutely. Like that'll be, I think, not 1810, but that exact price point, I would say 1811.5. Once we close above this level right here, once we close above that level, that'll definitely be safer buys with a nice clean move to the left. But if you want, high risk, high reward buys, you may be able to get in over here for a quick scalp. Yeah. So playing that out, I would say wait for like a little retest right here. Hopefully that candle closes above. You take this thing up, at least up to this level. This might be our trade of the morning. Just pushing up. Again, I point the setup up many times. It's something that you guys can study for an impulse entry. Right here, I love the setup. The bullish movement, weak bearish candle, get some volume coming in after 6 o'clock. Here around 6:30, creates a bottom wave past the high of that candle, and it starts to rally. Especially based on like looking at the 15-minute over here, holding a strong support with a and get that wick to fill, but continue right back up to this area. Does anybody have plans over the Christmas break? Is doing anything? Who was I talking to? I was talking to Peter this morning in a chat, also last night as well. But he was saying like he still has work during the break and everything. I was like, yeah, we all do. It's when I say break, I'm just talking about, a break from the charts, break from your account, waking up every single morning to do all the, like, this is where you can kind of catch up on some sleep a little bit, but we're still going to be grinding, still putting work in. I'll still be driving with clients and doing my thing, but we're going to be back testing a ton. We all have goals that we got to reach, and it's not going to, we're only going to get delayed if we take all that time off. So, I'm still going to be grinding, and hopefully you guys will be too. But, you guys all have goals that you want to reach. It's going to take a lot for you to reach them. And this is a perfect opportunity where, there's a lot of people, especially a lot of people that you're trading against. Every single trade you're trading against someone. There's somebody on the other side of that trade. Every single person that you're trading against could be outworking you during the break. And that's kind of the way you want to look at it. While we're waiting for this, I kind of want to play for you guys this clip. We'll wait for 7:30 and see if we get anything. All right, 30-minute close below this area. Yeah, if this just passes the high right away and just completely skyrockets, I am so content not taking this. I'm going to be pissed that we didn't get it down here, but obviously we were breaking the charts down and just coming to the screen. So, but this was the trade that you would have taken. If it's up here just kind of skyrocketing, you missed it, and that's fine. It's a Monday. Jaden, you want to do some US 30 stuff?
I'm done.
Right. Let's break down the current stock market.
I'll send my chart in.
I think you did already, right?
Not for US 30.
Oh, US franc. That makes sense. See, looking over here at the weekly of the stock market. See, we're starting to get a little exhausted up here, right? Looking at the weekly, we reach all-time highs. We're pushing up, pushing up. Now we're starting to like range and get a little exhausted. We reached all-time highs at 36.5, right? Came all the way back down and retest this previous support. Came all the way back up to retest that area. Looked like we were going to continue right back up, but no, we ended up stalling around 36 flat to continue right back down to retest these lows. So could we be stalling over here and starting to break market structure? And then all of a sudden you start to see, 30 get tested, 27, 28. You start to see the market tank coming down into some of these key areas over here, right? I think we're going to be in trouble once we break 33 flat. When we break 33 flat, the way we're going to get to that point is when we start tapering. Right? When we start tapering, we're going to start to tank a little bit more. Obviously, we're very bearish right now because Powell out of nowhere has become very hawkish. He's been fair, though, but he's now hawkish because he knows what he was saying. Even though it's true when it comes to inflation being transitory, it's like you could say that all you want. Like, everything's going to be transitory. Everything's kind of temporary. And that was just a way to mislead the public, it feels like. So now pressure's starting to come down with how hawkish he's been and them starting to taper a little bit and what they want to be doing. By, I would say, March of next year, they're looking to increase rates. So with that happening, that's going to hurt the market. Again, like I said, that reduces GDP. It reduces a lot of economic activity because it costs more to borrow the dollar. Looking over here at the daily, Let's get rid of all this mess. All right. So we ended up breaking 35.6 right over here. Previous resistance, support. You know, we were holding a strong support over here. This is a daily, by the way. We ended up breaking and closing below. This candle created a top wick and passed the low, continuing right back down. So could we be coming down into this area? 34.6 right over here. Looking at the 4 hour. It's a significant area right there. Previous support. So we're a little overextended over here. So could we be retracing back to certain levels? Like we ended up closing below this previous resistance and support over here. Could we be creating this low, continuing right back up to this area? Strong resistance up here too. Ended up holding double top. Create this low. We start to come right back up to retest this area and then continue right back down. I could see it. So let's see. Get rid of that too. Yeah, so is this kind of what you're looking at? James, did you send that yet? Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the Slack.
Perfect. So you see that area that we were just talking about, 34.6, I think. 34.7. Holding support. You see this area? Okay, so you're looking for a little retest.
Yes.
Just that support. Let's actually go down to the. Ended up holding that support right there. Extend that to the left, previous support as well. We get that resistance that we just broke above. So we're kind of breaking market structure over here on the 30-minute. And are we going to hold support? Kind of like what we're looking at on GJ over here. We've been bearish. Starting to break that bearish market structure. Are we going to hold support? Are we going to come deeper? Kind of like what Jaden's looking at, like 34.9. Hold support and continue right back up. Maybe. Now, if we close right back into this range, could we actually get a fake out? Where price comes right back into here, we retest, we continue right back down. It'd be interesting. But again, that's a hard rejection on the higher time frames. At the 4 hour.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to trade it until maybe tomorrow, if anything.
There you go. Stay patient. Still hovering around over here.
I'm looking to buy EJ soon, hopefully, if it retraces.
Okay.
Kind of similar to GJ right now.
Is it? Yeah, things aren't looking too good for Germany right now. Get cat with her fundamentals. I like it. So you're looking at futures right now. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that it's minus 360 over here either. Damn, look how messy EJ is. This is the daily, guys. This is not the 30-minute, the 15-minute. This is the daily. Look at that. Everything printing right next to each other. See, this used to be a main pair of mine. Used to trade it a lot. And then I was like, you know what? I want to get rid of one pair and just focus on two pairs. Just because, you know, what's the weak link in this one? It was EJ. Between EJ, GJ, and gold, EJ was the one that I was content kind of sitting out of an ACY. Like how small the little tank during COVID was. Just came right back down to here, held support. We've been rallying ever since, just like GJ. Right now we're starting to correct a little bit. Could we hold this as a support to continue right back up? Previous monthly candle was very strong. So sometimes when I see this, when I see a candle like that, I think the next candle will create a bottom wick and break right through that support and continue right back down. If I see a candle like that in the 30-minute, the 1 hour, I know that, yeah, there's a high probability that we'll break through that support. So right now we're holding resistance over here and support. So we're ranging right in here. Just got to be aware. Yeah, the daily. I could just put that right there. But that 128 level strong. We're kind of hovering around it, trying to figure out if we want to break 128 to the upside or the downside. I'm just going to adjust this. That support. What happens once we break that support? Maybe move right back down into this area. That support over there could be coming down into here as well. This could be an interesting area on the daily. Yeah. You guys, to be honest with you, I think I'm just about done for. I was thinking to myself yesterday, I think I'm just about done for the year. Like there's nothing if I see a perfect setup, like I'm not gonna you see me with GJ, I'm not gonna try to squeeze GJ over here. Oh, what the hell is this? It's gold. There we go. Dude, I hate trading views sometimes. So as we're looking at GJ over here, looks like we're starting to break up. But like I said, I'm not trying to counter trend trade GJ or gold or any of these other pairs. I'm just, I've had a solid year, so I'm just trying to prepare myself for next year. Right, so Jaden, any news on the crypto front? I watched this whole video last night. I didn't watch it. I was listening to it on my way back to Jersey about NFTs and like the whole space. I actually heard a cool project out of Scottsdale, Arizona. You ever hear of Funge?
Nope.
No. Okay, so it's this app that basically it's a utility behind the NFT, which is a good thing to have. Obviously, it's not just like I think they were mentioning like it's not like where you guys have voting rights or you get to go out to a steak dinner once a week with everyone. It's like there's actually a function behind it, and it's this app that I forget what the app does exactly. Let me send the video into here. You tell me if it's full of shit or not, but I did like it. And I think the kid that did the video was friends with the Legacy kids. Seb, do you remember that kid?
Seb, yeah, Sebastian.
SEEB, yeah.
Yeah.
He did the video. He's got a lot of followers on on YouTube.
He's a drop shipping guy.
Yeah. I guess now he's exploring this space.
I don't know if his page still has it, but you can see it if you go to the very beginning of it. He like it's before he blew up, and he's like manifesting his like goals and on his post, and he's like, one day I'm gonna have a GTR, and then like fast forward a few months of him drop shipping, you see him buy his GTR.
There you go. That's awesome. See, I love seeing like that, especially if they're good people. Hopefully it's a good person. But you know, you manifest your stuff and you'll be well on your way.
That kid's only like 20 or 21.
Sebastian is?
Yeah.
Wow, good for him.
He was 18 when I met him.
Wow. Yeah, he was friends with Condi, right?
No, he was friends with Lewis
Oh, was he?
and those guys, yeah. He lived with Bobby, Austin Zabek, and Austin Lewis at one point.
Oh, did he?
But I have some. I don't know if you've been over in my Discord at all, but I dropped a few calls for altcoins that I think are going to be crazy.
Did he?
Yeah.
Check it out. I rarely go on Discord anymore. I gotta start.
I'm like always on Discord now because all the like NFT projects that I'm like invested in are on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always reading the updates and stuff. But so I paid $5,000 to be in this private group, but it comes with an NFT, and that's one of the utilities behind it, is having this like being in this alpha group of millionaire crypto investors.
Uh-huh.
And they did an AMA in the group, and they brought on this guest, and he's just like a low-key guy on like social media, but he's pretty involved in these projects that I listed in my Discord. And he was like, and then he does a whole Twitter rant if you go to his Twitter about why these are like going to be the next ones. And so it's like, to me, it feels like pretty insider stuff.
Yeah. Cool, man. That's awesome. What's this? I keep getting these messages from some of these like are these just all spam?
Yeah, these are okay. That's one thing I'm gonna address in my first YouTube video. Those are all scams.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna not block, but just how do you delete this?
Yeah, just go over to the left, very left of like all those messages that all the Discords you don't want to be in, and right click and then close DM.
That's home. Launch pass. Let's see. Okay. See, every time I click on it, it like disappears.
You can go to your settings too and make it so that you can't get messages from random people.
Okay. So settings. Now where would you go? Here we go. Good job, GJ. You guys want a discount. You don't want to buy at the high. If it just skyrockets, it skyrockets. It's got to be your plan. Does everybody like Jane, while you're figuring that out, I'm just talking. Where did I have this? No, that's our journal. No, that's that. So I'll just go to here. Did anybody end up printing this out? Oh, I never finished the message over here. Above is a checklist you can all print out on your screen. Or keep on your screen whenever you're trading. There you go. So I'll message to you guys. So did anyone print this out? Does everyone like this? Anything that you think that we should add to it?
Yeah, I don't know what we could add to it, but I really like this. Yeah, I printed it out.
Cool. All you got to do, this is like a step-by-step how to trade, basically. Like all you have to do is stick to it. And I know it sounds super simple and it's a lot harder or easier said than done, but as long as you stick to this every single morning, doesn't matter how you guys trade. These are all things you need to check before trading. I'm still trying to see how I can modify it to where it makes sense for me, but the template is nice. Awesome. So what are you looking at, Kat, as far as like your strategy, the way you trade? I know we haven't hopped on that second Zoom yet, but what are you looking at here? What catches your eye?
As far as like something to add or something like that?
Yeah, you were just saying, like, I'm still trying to see how I can modify it. So what is there anything that you think you might add or anything you want to take off?
I'm not too sure yet. The thing is, I think I mentioned this on our first call. Sometimes I get a little bit too complicated. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not trying to overcomplicate it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe rather than making a change to this, I just need to like have both my trading plan and then like my trading, what would it be called? Like where you have like, oh god, I don't remember the technical name for it, where you just have like the series of steps of what you actually do with like your setups and things like that. So it's like your plan and like your, I guess, your setup. Like a more in detail kind of
like trading plan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's different than this, and that's something that we're gonna put together on your second Zoom when you're done with the course. That we get through the whole course. You take your notes, come up with questions, stuff like that, and then we hop on that second Zoom and put together an actual trading plan for you. And the stuff right here is gonna be in that trading plan, right?
Right.
This is something where like, you're checking over all this stuff, and all this stuff is typically in your trading plan as well. But when it comes to just having like a checklist, we don't have a full checklist on the trading plan. This is the checklist that's in the trading plan of things you need to do before taking a trade. Like you have a setup that you want to take, you see the setup, you think it's going to play out well. Now let's start getting into this stuff, right? Before you see that setup, it's going through this stuff. But once you have that setup going and it's like, okay, I want to take a trade, right? It's okay. First of all, is this one of my ideal setups? Also, let me check the time real quick. Okay, the time, we're nowhere near like an hour or a 30-minute close. So we're good in that department. We just opened up a candle, right? Will the candle be closing soon? Again, same thing. Did you study the previous candles and wicks? So did you go into GJ over here and look at how these candles, like this could have been our trade right here, this little bullish move. How did some of these candles form? Like, does this candle have a wick? Does the candle before that just closed, does that one have a top wick that you can fill? You're just quickly going through some of these things that you need to look at and pay attention to. Update on all the time frames. So let's say we have a setup, we're all set to take a trade. Let's say we form a support somewhere over here and we get candles closing in our direction. Now what we want to do, since we haven't looked at the higher time frames in a while, we want to go back to the 4 hour. Okay, 4 hour still looks good. Let's get rid of this. 4 hour still looks good. It's very strong. Daily is rejecting this level again, just like over here, but it looks like we're coming above this previous support area. See the 1 hour, 2 1 hour candles are strong, but this previous 1 hour candle barely has a top wick, and this candle passed the high right away. So what happens? And we're in a key area right here. So what's happening right now? We're actually grabbing liquidity to maybe continue up, or do we close a strong bearish candle? The next one creates a top wick and pass the low of that candle where we can continue right back down. So we're just doing like, this is what I kind of do before I'm taking the trade. Daily, okay, 4 hour, cool, 1 hour, just checking it out, 30-minute. All right, cool. We're all set. Now that's checked off, right? How big is the range? Let's check this real quick. Now it seems kind of robotic, but this, you get through this a lot quicker as time goes by. Okay, so we're only in an 11 pip range right over here. What's the potential range that we could be trading in? About 26, 27 pips. So that's pretty reasonable if we hold a support, right? That's something that we could be trading in. If we check this, if we're looking to take a trade in here and we end up checking the range and it's only 11 pips, okay, so maybe we need to cancel this trade out. We're not going to be taking this. So it's just a nice guide for you. Finally, on that checklist, are we at a psychological price point or a key level? Is the trend line meeting up with the previous resistance? Right, stuff like that. So that's a nice little checklist right there for, are you following your trading plan? And then before you enter that trade, just quickly go through your exit strategy as well. Like, where will I be closing a percentage to manage my risk? Like, where's that next zone that I need to secure at? And again, what price will I be securing some of the profits in? Right, so always having a plan with that. And then what I put right here, number 10, most importantly, is this an emotional decision or logical decision? Say you went through all this stuff and all this stuff checks off, right? But actually, if all this stuff checked off, it wouldn't be an emotional decision. But let's say you're going through all this and you're missing a couple of them, and knowing that you just don't want to miss out on the trade, by the time you get to 10, this is a quick reminder for you. Okay, this is an emotional trade. Let me just stay out. Let me journal the trade. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Cool. But all this stuff
By the
up
way-
here, what was that?
Oh no, yeah. I meant to say system, like apart from like trading plan, because I know trading plan should be like a little bit more simple. Because
Yeah.
I've gotten stuck in the past trying to make a trading plan, and then I make up like this 2 to 3 page like jumble of things, and I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna work. So yeah, that's what I meant by like having like 2 separate kind of.
Well, I mean, people have those, and I think they're great. I think it was Matei that had it. He had a great trading plan, but this thing was like a book. Hold on, let me see. Where did I put that in? That must have been a while ago too. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find that. It's like really detailed though, but me personally, I don't think you need something like that. You just need a 1 page, something that sits on your desk, something that you're gonna go through every single day and read the top of it. Again, we're gonna get into like how to create one and what to put on it, and we're gonna be doing that together step by step. But when it comes to that, it's you don't need something that big. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've definitely gotten stuck in overcomplicated stuff before.
I got you. Yeah, you don't want it to be too complicated. You're dealing with enough things in the market where if you complicate things too much, you're just going to be all over the place. You're going to feel scatterbrained. You're just not going to be wanting to trade. You're going to lose your motivation slowly over time. You don't want to be like that. Now, that's a difference between being organized and being, overly, obsessive about it in that way.
Right.
So yeah, you want to keep things simple for yourself.
For sure.
But yeah, all these things, like, doesn't matter what your trading plan actually is. These things at the top are all things you need to check automatically anyway. Like, do we have a trending market? Is there a significant support or resistance nearby that we need to pay attention to? So sometimes a lot of people forget this. I forget this sometimes. We're all human. So sometimes we forget or we don't pay attention to a significant support to the left that we need to drag this over to the left and see, oh, wow, we're really reacting in that area. Maybe that's going to be a point that we react to. So that's, having this visually right in front of you every single day it's going to save you from a lot. So again, like I said, it doesn't matter how you guys trade. It's tailored to everyone. Where are your EMAs or any indicator that you utilize? So, are we trying to take a buy and we're below both EMAs on that higher time frame? right? You know, is it going to make sense if I do that? There's plenty of times where it does, but it's just something good for you to check. Where will the stop loss be? That's the number one most important thing for you too, because when it comes to that, it's like, is this even going to be a valid trade? Is this even going to be 1-to-1? Do I have a reasonable or a stop loss that makes sense right now? Right. And if I don't, I'm not going to be taking it. That first question, you're also referring to higher time frame, lower time frame bias, right? What, number one is the market trending or ranging?
Yeah, like, are you also kind of in a way asking yourself, hey, what's my bias?
Yeah, so that really depends on the time frame that you normally trade on. So let's say that the daily is ranging, but the 30-minute is trending pretty hard in that range. So you could play that higher time frame range, kind of like gold right now. But are we at least trending on that time frame that you like the 1 hour, the 30-minute, right? The 4 hour. With the daily, we're kind of ranging, or the weekly, we're kind of ranging. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But you're always doing that top-down analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So similar to where will your stop loss be, what is the R to R going to be? What's your risk to reward? Right, that's very important to look at too. A lot of people like to, let's say you're always trying to take 1-to-1 scalps and you're not having much success with that. A lot of people like to go up to like 2-to-1. I'm only taking 2-to-1 opportunities now, right? Take a little step back. Am I using the proper risk for this independent trade? So that's huge. That's another provoking question for yourself. Am I going to be over risking on this, or am I using the proper risk? Am I using 2%? Am I using whatever dollar amount that or lot size that you normally trade? Am I also caught up with fundamentals and updated with the economic calendar? So am I aware that there's a that GDP is coming out in 30 minutes? Am I aware of the overall, the overall main direction that we should be in, the bias that we should be in right now? So that's another thing. And then again, coming into here, these are all things you can print out, put it right in front of you, right next to your trading plan, and make sure you go through all this very quickly. I know it took us a while, so if it took us that long, you'd probably miss the trade. So this stuff gets really quick. Like when you're by yourself, market trending or ranging, yeah. Is there a significant support resistance? I already checked that. Cool. Or I'll just go into it, check it real quick. Cool. Right? Certain things that you could just go through pretty quickly, and you're going to get better and better at it. So this is interesting right here on GJ. We ended up holding a resistance right over here and reacting to this level we said we would. The 1 hour candle just opened with no bottom wick. If this candle creates a top wick, never past the high up here or gets anywhere near here, flips bearish and passes the low of that candle, I'll probably be putting my stop loss up here, lowering my risk and taking this thing down. But if we hold support over here at 150, right, with a nice bullish candle closing, the next candle creates a bottom wick and passes the high, may be able to take this thing up to retest that high and continue up with New York volume pushing through this level. Because we've been bullish all morning since 5. All right, let's see how we block these messages. Privacy and safety. Let's see. Jane, you there?
Yeah.
So would I just block server members?
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't want to miss out on any opportunities if I did do that. Whatever.
Are you in privacy and safety?
Yes.
I think. Let me see. I just have mine on my friends are nice and
Can people request?
Can people request?
Like a chat or something like that? Because I'll do that, kind of like Instagram.
I don't know. I'll mess around with it.
Don't worry about it. I think I'll just keep it on friends. Appreciate it though.
Well, I remember one time I was getting annoyed and I went with all that and I went through here and changed the settings and then I wasn't able to send messages to one of my actual friends. So
Really?
I should probably figure it out.
If you do, just let me know.
Discord is like confusing.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking about switching the group over there, but I'd rather keep it on Slack, even though I pay like per month per student on Slack. And Discord,
Seriously?
yeah, I do, but in Discord's free. But I like Slack a lot better. It's just like more organized. I don't mind paying for it. I would obviously lower expenses, stuff like that, but it's no big deal. I don't know. Discord just it like feels like maybe because I keep getting all these messages, it just feels like a scam place, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
But I like it. And I actually oh, no, I deleted it. But I had before I started the group on Slack, I had a SFX Trading Group set up on here. And I was gonna do it on here. I just didn't like it. Oh, here's all these direct messages I could delete. Perfect. Scam.
I'm following this currency called Vulcan Forge. It's a gaming coin and it's my biggest hold. And there's a hacking that happened and they stole a huge bag of their coins and they tracked this wallet and they're trying to sell off or whatever. But they created a hard fork. So do you know what a fork is?
No.
Basically, think about it like if a train is on a track and this track is like has like a busted out thing and it keeps running trains into a ditch. So they build like a piece that can stay the same track, but right where it's like a bad place, they build a new one. It's a new node. And so the train can flow into the new track. And so all of these, all the hacker can do is sell onto like a broken node or whatever. But Vulcan Forge has been suspended today on Qcoin, Gate.io, and what's the other one? Some other popular Binance. And so like I just have this feeling that, and I'm in their Discord reading like they're like, you guys, all the loyal holders are going to be rewarded, and like this is just like don't worry, but everyone else on like mainstream is like selling off and freaking out. So I'm just really interested to see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. See if that plays out. Like deleting all these random direct messages. Are we friends on here, Jaden?
I don't know. I don't really like pay much attention to adding friends on there.
Oh, we got Austin Lewis on here.
Maybe you can get in on his signals.
Oh, sure. And what's your group called again?
It's the JYNX Trading.
Parlay Jays? No. Passive Traders. Hey, where is it? It's not the Ape Banking Club, no?
No, it's not in a thinking club. Here, I'll put it on Slack really quick.
Okay, cool. Why am I not? I don't see it. All right, let's go. GJ holding support. Let's play it out perfectly so far. So let's see if we get this 15-minute strong close over here. The bottom wick forms on the next one. Past the high of that, we get that 830 volume. We come right back up to 150, 400. Make sense, guys?
Makes sense.
Cool. So we're kind of getting a very similar price action to what we got over here, where we created this high up here, got that strong bearish close. This candle closed the way it did, and then we got this rally over here of about 23 pips. So if this candle closes somewhere similar, the next one past the high up here, or we get a lower time frame close above that level, we could continue right back up. I have such an empty stomach right now. I feel like I'm not good. I guess when you lecture for like 3 hours or a couple hours and it on an empty stomach, not fun. Yeah, how did I get into this ape banking club? I don't know what this is.
I'm in that.
You are too?
Yeah, I bought an NFT.
Oh,
Bank.
JNX, I am in here. There we go. NFT drops sniper Discord. Oh, I see this tax video you sent. Me too. I want oatmeal. That's exactly what I was thinking, Kat. Just a nice bowl of oatmeal, fill my stomach. Damn. Jaden, this is what I was looking at.
Yeah. That's a very informative video.
Good video. Hold on one second. All right. 15 is closing in 3 minutes. This might be a nice trade for us. Anybody else looking to take this?
Yeah.
Actually, let's go through this real quick. We lost Tiff. we can go through this with this trade. I don't typically do this, but so is the market trending or ranging? Obviously, on the 15-minute or the 30-minute that we're looking to take price in, we are trending over here, right? We've been trading since 4 o'clock, where we've been holding support at 149,600 and just kind of pushing up over here. So we could be pushing right back up to 150,400. We'll see if that happens. Also, the next thing we got to do real quick, let's get through this quick, is there support resistance nearby? Significant right here, and then we have a possibility to take this right back up over here. We're passing the high over here on the 30-minute. That's great. We got about a minute left, so don't get too antsy over here. Maybe we get a bottom wick, we get a nice close like this, bottom wick form. The next candle flips bullish, and we take this thing out. Actually, get my thing ready over here. All right, we'll do that. Yeah, I like the way this 15-minute is closing. Very strong too. Let's see if we could get it on that lower. See, we could have possibly grabbed this from the 5. That would have been 10 pips right there to retest the high, because we did call that from 150 flat. But what else do we have to do? We got to go through. Hold on. All these pretty much check off for me right now. I already know it. Except if it takes off without us. Just 15-minute really going to take off without us? And if it does, it's still a lesson for you guys, because that's where you guys can go in and journal some of these setups over here. Because what did we say? We said that we were going to stall up here, come right back down to 150, and we were going to hold support to continue up possibly. And if we do, we can continue up. I thought we would get like a 15-minute closing somewhere around here with a wick to fill. Next one creates a bottom wick and continues up. Even if it closed around here, we still could get that bottom wick and price passing the resistance to continue up. At this point, it looks like it's trying to take off without us. But this is where you go back in your journal. You hit the replay button right over here. Put this right over here. You know, break down the chart. Put this into your journal and study this for the next time, knowing that we have a 5-minute possible entry over here, stop loss below 150 flat, maybe about 10 pips below, and then you could take this thing right out. Does that make sense? Trading on the 5 gets very tricky. But again, this is something that we planned the whole session and that we could have taken. Again, it's Monday, and we're getting close. We're only 5 days away from Christmas. So there's a lot of people sitting out of the market right now. But this is something that you guys can pay attention to on the 5. I did not think we were going to miss this. Anybody with me right now?
Yeah, for the purpose of practicing using magic keys.
Oh, there you go. How's it working?
Good. Sometimes I get a little cross-fingered there, but
Cross-fingered?
learning. I don't know, I'm like, geez, what button do I press?
Yeah.
So many.
Oh. Well, I mean, it just gets, it gets easier. I mean, it's a simple thing. All you got to use is
Right,
open
yeah.
calc, open trade, close full, close half, close custom, stop loss at entry. Don't worry about the other buttons. Hold on, let me let my dog out.
You're muted.
I'm muted. My bad. So we're looking over here at gold, a lot of indecision with this candle passing the high and the low in the 15-minute. So we're just ranging. There's nothing to take right here, especially since we're ranging on the 15 anyway over here. But this could have been a potential nice little scalp, taking this right up to 1800 flat, and we're failing to hold above 1800. Looking at GJ over here. Yeah, GJ, it looks like we could have possibly missed it unless we get a retest right over here. 150, 150, hold support, then we continue up. That could be a possible trade for us.
I would personally put my stop loss at the 150.15 level. Is that like a safe spot?
0.15 level?
150.150.
Oh, 150.
Yeah.
150. Okay. That'd be a little. What would the actual entry be if that's the stop loss?
Well, I guess if I were to see like that wick forming first, I would want to put it a little bit below there. So I guess right now I'm kind of just, oh, it's leaving.
Yeah, it's leaving. But I was saying, like, if I were to take this, let's say our plan played out the way we thought price is gonna form, where this candle, instead of closing the way it did, it ended up closing like this, right? The next candle closed like created a bottom wick over here and then started to flip coming up. I would have put my stop loss either at 100 or a little bit below 100 right over here, and entered right here.
Makes sense.
All right. So that's the setup I was planning on getting, and this would have been our impulse entry, taking price right up into this area over here, which is that would have been 15 pips for us. But it left without us. That wasn't our setup, so we're not going to take it.
Right.
All right, we're just gonna stay patient and watch it happen. It sucks, right? Getting a little FOMO right now. We could have gotten this, but that's where some of these lower time frames on a pair like GJ comes in, the 5-minute.
So how would you have entered on the 5-minute?
I would have entered this right here. Probably my stop loss at like 980. There we go. Somewhere around there. And then if we ended up coming down, passing the low of that candle, I would have closed the full thing. But we'd already be up 28, 29 pips right now. So this is something that we're going to be focusing on, especially like with the theme of today, a 5-minute trade, and how there's plenty available. It's just risky to take. This is something that you're going to have to backtest and practice. This is something that we can backtest and practice during the break for 2 weeks straight of just like journaling trades we could have gotten on the 5-minute. Looking at some of these opportunities that you see, you're going to see a lot if you start backtesting it and understanding the way price moves on that pair, especially GJ, and how many opportunities that you have. The main opportunities you want to take, you want to really lower your risk on a trade like this. But the ones you want to take are on the 30-minute, the 1 hour. Those are clean entries. You don't need to be grabbing these moves. If this happens, great. Like this is something that like you shouldn't get too much FOMO over just because it's the 5-minute and that's not part of your plan. But if it is part of your plan, this is where you start journaling. Or if it's not part of your plan and you want to eventually make it part of your plan, this is where you start journaling these entries or where you could have taken them. But on all my trades, all my entries on my journal, I'm always looking at how I could have executed on the lower time frames. Not so much entries, but more so how to secure risk a little bit quicker. How to close, and secure my profits where they should be, where price is starting to match up with a certain level. But
And for the slower time frame entry, I'm just trying to understand it like a little bit more.
Sure.
What would have been like your confirmation? Are you kind of just going based on the fact that you're kind of going a little bullish, and also it aligns with like our time and
yeah, this is going to be a good session for you to watch back, and obviously you can increase the speed so it goes by a little bit quicker. But after bouncing off 149,600, we've been bullish all during pre-New York going into New York, right? Putting higher highs, higher lows on this 5-minute, and then we started getting into this area over here. Looking at the 30-minute, this was, if price was still down here, we're looking, okay, price ended up breaking this area right here. What's our next area? Definitely right here, because price is reacting to that area to the left, right? So this is somewhere where we know we're going to get some kind of reaction. If price takes off without us, we're fine with that. That's okay. We don't want to buy at the high. So what we were saying was we were going to get a stall right here, and we were going to be able to get a better discount on GJ to take price right back up. Right? That's exactly what we were saying the whole session. And I was saying maybe we come down and retest on the 15-minute. We come down and retest 150. That's exactly what happened. When you start to see, obviously, straight bullish candles on the 15-minute, just pushing up, then you start to see a little bit of a stall with that wick. Let me change the color. Like this candle right here closed a very weak body, but it's still closed above the area. I knew that, actually we saw this a couple of times last week and the week before too, where you started to see this stall, those bottom wicks, this candle just crashes. That's exactly what happened. So we couldn't have grabbed this on the 15-minute, right? Because price closed all the way up here. So how else could we have grabbed this on GJ?
Right.
The 5-minute looks nice, right? Where we ended up doing exactly maybe what we wanted on the 15-minute. This is how I wish the 15-minute set up. Then I would have taken this trade all day. But the 15 took off without us. We go down to the 5-minute to analyze how we could have actually executed, and then we journal that trade and take that into the next experience.
Makes sense. So just taking that retest a bit earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So this trade it didn't exactly get away from us. We could always get that retest to continue up. Just know that your odds lower a little bit because this was the move of the session. This whole move right up here was the move of the session since like 4 or 5 this morning. But this is great stuff to journal, great stuff to put your head down and study. Make sure that you see this inside and out. Go back and look for this more often. But it'll help you a ton. See, we would have been up about 30 pips right here. So we'll be paying attention to that when we back test. But with that said, I'm gonna hop off just because we missed this trade. I'm not trying to force anything. Gold over here is ranging. Oh, we're actually kind of pushing up over here. But I'm not. Again, I'm basically done for the year. Like I'm not trying to force myself to take anything. This is good for us to just kind of sit back and watch the markets and get better and better because we're getting our eyes trained. Right. The next time we all see this together on GJ, we're gonna be taking that. Right? Maybe not next time, but the time after that, you'll be taking that because you'll be more confident. And I know a lot of people get antsy, like, oh, I want to grab that trade now. Dude, that's not how it works. Experience trumps everything. And the more experience you get, the better you're going to get. And how do you get experience? Chart time. Chart time. All week long, all month long. Just getting better and better, looking at your setups, studying your setups, and getting better. But with that said, I am starving, guys. I don't know if I can talk anymore without eating, but guys, have a great day. It's Monday. I know it's a light week, but also put time in. You guys got people working against you. You got to work 24 hours like you got someone trying to take everything away from you. It's Mark Cuban. So very true as well. So with that said, guys, have a great week, great productive day, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Bye,
Have a
man.
good day.
Have a great day. Peace
You
out.
too, boys. See you, Kat, Gio, Jaden. I'll see you guys, buddy. Boys.